So, day in the life startup founder. What does that even mean? And it's a whole lot of words that can mean a lot of things. So, what is a startup founder? Well, startup founder is someone who founds a company, right? And it doesn't have to be, $1 million company. It doesn't have to be, the Apple of all companies, right? Because most of the time when you start a company, it's just an idea, right? And then serial entrepreneurs, we know this. When you start the company, it's just an idea, right? It's that idea that you wake up every single day and it's right there in your front of your head. Ooh, this is a really good idea. This is a really good idea. This is a really good idea, right? And you just constantly in your brain. And as you unravel it, as you write it down, as you start talking about it, as you start figuring out what you want to do, it starts becoming a business, right? It starts becoming a startup, right? You're figuring out what it is that you're trying to create, your vision for the future, right? What do you think that others will like? Well, so that's what I'm doing right now, right? Now, is it easy? Heck no. I have to tell you that it's the hardest thing that you're ever going to do. It society definitely ingrained us from kindergarten all the way to college to your 9 to 5. You start school at 8 o'clock, you end school at 2:30, you start college at 8 in the morning with the classes, you have night classes until 9. And so the whole world's set up for a paycheck, right? What are you gonna do to secure a paycheck bi-weekly or monthly or wherever you work? It just depends, right? Now, creating business income is a lot more challenging because you have to convince strangers that, for one, they should spend their hard-earned money on what you're selling, what your product is, and number two, you're trying to convince them that you can solve their needs, right? When you can do both, you start making money, right? So for me, Story TV, right? So right now I'm over here at the beginning stages, pre-seed phase essentially, and trying to get the app built. So once the app gets built, I can get user feedback, and from the user feedback, I can start to see, okay, well, this is not working. Well, this is working. Okay, well, how can I target this? And you don't want to generalize thing. You always want to go after a need, right? Whether it's, okay, are you tired of being canceled? Are you want to make more money? So you have to go after needs. You can't be so general by saying next generation, revolutionize product. Trust me, people have heard that term and they've kind of turned a blind eye to it. So you really have to address a need when you're marketing because it's really gonna attract users, right? That's why most content creators will have different channels, different needs, right? Whether it's like for Story TV, for example, we have fantasy football because we're targeting fantasy football enthusiasts or football whatnot, right? Or we have marketplace, which is, food, alcohol, craft beer. There's definitely a craft beer movement, so we're definitely, looking into that. And then obviously you have, the other channels and stuff too. But again, back to, the business model itself, you're creating an app, streaming app. And so you have to, create it, right? And so most accelerator programs for startup founders, they can't really do anything until you have it made. Now, there's other ones out there that'll walk you through the process and help you do it. But for the most part, you're better off just creating the product first, especially if it's like a mobile application. Always create it. Spend all your money and your resources on that rather than, don't get sidetracked on anything. Don't get sidetracked on financial projections. Don't get sidetracked on marketing. Don't get sidetracked on anything. Focus on the idea and those expenses. You don't need anything else until that app is built, right? Now, for other like physical products, probably be different, but I'm just talking for, mobile applications, right? Streaming or social media or any kind of thing where it's gonna happen online, right? You want to get it out there, get it into the hands of users, see what they say, see what they like, what they don't dislike. At the same time, you have to be willing to put in the hard work to really, I guess what they put like boots on the ground. You really have to get outside your comfort zone, right? Like within 2 weeks, what I'll be doing is going out to these different SAG-AFTRA strikes and go pitching the idea because I've solved a need what they're striking for. So we're gonna see how that turns out. We may even record it and see how it goes. But yeah, so that's the plan. So heed the advice of a startup founder because we've lived it, we've experienced it. Yeah, and like I said, take it to heart. You can ignore it, but like I said, lessons are lessons, and you have to learn fast. It's okay to fail, and I think I'm trying to understand that more because I hate putting myself out there and failing. So we don't want to do that because it's just not who we are. So yeah, but that's the life of startup founder. You're always stressed out. You always have little money. Costco, if you're low on cash, Costco is a great bet to eat. $1.50, get your hot dog and something to drink, right? And you get free refills. So that's something to think about. $1.99 for a pizza. So you don't necessarily need to eat the ramen diet where it's like 60 something cents to eat, but it's more than enough to, make you full and stuff like that. So just a tip, like I said, you have to be frugal, especially when you start up. You could save a lot of money and not be frugal, but again, you tend to, waste a lot of money that way, especially in the beginning because you're going to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes when they're first starting their company. And it's through those mistakes that you learn like, oh, okay, this is why I didn't have any money. This is why I wasted this, I wasted this resource, I wasted that resource. So like I said, if it doesn't build money, it doesn't make you money, you don't need it until your product is launched. Obviously, when you start having revenue coming in, that's when you can start increase your marketing, financial forecasting and all this other stuff, right? But like I said, if an investor wants it, create it. If you need it for an investor, if someone really asks for it, then get it done. But if you're just gonna go on a limb and do it because you think you need it, you don't need it. Focus on the app. Focus your resources on getting it created. Yeah, everything else is just, I want to say it's just distraction. Yeah, pretty much. And then so at the same time, if you do, like I said, we all need new clothes and we all need new stuff. Just, buy your company clothes, right? If you want to create, so why spend money on clothes that don't have your brand? So if you're going to spend money on clothes, buy stock clothes with your logo on it, just walk around with it, right? No need to wear regular clothes. You're a walking billboard, essentially, right? So get your idea out there. People are going to ask, does this seem weird? Yeah, but again, we're weird and we're crazy for being a startup founder because this is incredibly hard. It's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work. It takes, more work the easy way is just to return to a 9-to-5 job. Just like when you go work, you spend your 8 hours, 10 hours there, and that's it. You get to enjoy life. You get a paycheck every 2 weeks. It's a routine, it's a structure. There's no structure when it comes to being an entrepreneur. There's just none. It takes a lot to get there, right? The Jeff Bezos, Tim Cooks and all that. It takes a while to get there. But you just got to keep faith and you just got to keep pushing forward when you feel like you're pinned down. Only way to overcome an ambush is to increase your firepower, just to charge head on sometimes. So, yep, life lessons of a startup founder.